عن أبي قتادة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال خطبنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال إنكم تسيرون عشية وليلة وتأتون الماء إن شاء الله ولا تنطلق الناس لا يلوي على أحد قال أبو قتادة رضي الله عنه بين رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حدث هذا الليل.
Okay, بسم الله. وعن أبي قتادة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, related on the authority of Abu Qatada radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just before a journey, خطبنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, Rasulullah addressed us فقال إنكم تسيرون عشيتكم وليلتكم, that you're going to travel now at night, early part of the night and the later part of the night. So normally travel. And if you look at the Quran and you look at the Hadith also, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam always advised travel in the daytime. You see that some exceptional circumstances why Sahaba Ikram were required to travel at night. So just remember that also. Just remember that generally Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised against traveling at night time. Yes, sometimes there's a need, and need comes up all of a sudden, or the traffic, whatever, but generally. So here probably there was a need also. That's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innakum tasiruna ashiyatakum wa laylatakum." You will travel tonight, latter part tonight. Wa ta'tuna al-ma'a insha'Allah. And inshallah, where you will be able to get your water. Because obviously, those days we don't have the facilities that we have today. Carry on. فانطلق الناس. Right. So the people, the فانطلق الناس, people began traveling. لا يلوي أحد أن على أحد. Nobody was worried about another person. So what this means here, basically, they in a Jamaat, like, big army marching together. Each one was traveling on his own. That you understood that what it means. Remember, nobody was concerned to keep up with the next person. Carry on. Right. So, Abu Qatada said, فبينما رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يسير, whilst Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم was traveling, حتى إبهار الليل, right, until it became ibhara, manifest, you can say. The night became manifest, right? Carry on. Right. فَمَالَ عَنِ الطَّرِيقِ. Mala yamulu means to move away, to incline. So he moves away from the road. In other words, like how we say, you're driving, I just pulled off. I was going to Joburg. Yeah, about 2 o'clock, I pulled off on the side of the road and I had a quick nap. So the same thing like that. فَمَالَ عَنِ الطَّرِيقِ, can say like in our terminology, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam pulled off from the road, right? Right, so like how we say, I just caught a 40 wings. فَوَضَعَ رَأْسَهُ, he placed his head down. ثُمَّ قَالَ احْفَظُوا عَلَيْنَا صَلَاتَنَا, that protect for us our salat. What does it mean, protect for us our salat? Huh? Ismail, what does it mean? Huh? Right, PK. Everybody mustn't. Obviously, we're traveling till late at night, and now everybody's tired, and then we're gonna just sleep away, and then let somebody be vigilant, make somebody in charge of the salah. So there you learn also something important. What you learn from this, that maybe you on safar, you go on holiday or something, like you're traveling somewhere, then you appoint someone. Look here, you in charge of our salah. You must remind us every time that, look here, maybe we're going to get busy with our playing. we're going to get busy with our eating and our drinking or something. But you in charge, you must remind us every time salah time come in, or make sure that the salah time doesn't go out, and you make sure that you in charge, make sure that we all read our salah, right? So see, that is also part of the sunnah. So Nabi Sallallahu, you look, we are tired here, and if everybody just go sleep, nobody will wake up. So let one person be in charge of the salah, one person. So ihfazu alayna salatana, protect for us our salah. So that somebody must take responsibility. Carry on.
فكان أول من استيقظ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والشمس في ظهره.
Right. So obviously they were tired. They were tired. It was a long night. For some reason or other, they were traveling at night time. And then also Allah Ta'ala wanted to teach us many things happen at the hand of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so that we could learn and benefit from there. And here we see that the Salat of Nabi also became Qadha, so that we can learn. We can learn about if Nabi Sallallahu never made a Qadha in his lifetime, how would we know that when you miss a Salah, you must make Qadha? We wouldn't know that, right? So it happened as such that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam fell asleep, and when he woke up with the sun beating down on his face, right? So فكان أول من استيقظ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, right? So Rasulullah, so فكان أول من استيقظ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the first person who woke up was Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم, والشمس في ظهره, while the sun was shining on his back. So the sun woke up, subhanallah, missed salah, he said, ثم قال, he said, carry on. So he never reached salah immediately there. ثم قال اركبوا, let's move from here. فركبنا, then they rode from there. فسرنا حتى إذا ارتفعت الشمس, we continued until the sun became sufficiently high. And this is also, we'll do inshallah that we're doing in Hidayah Shareef, we're doing the times of salah, etc. That you can't read any salah immediately after the sunrise. You must wait at least about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, in the words of the hadith, until the sun rises to the height of a spear from the horizon, right? So that also we learned that stuff from you also. Carry on. So we travel a little bit, proceeded, right? Right. ثم دعا بميضاءة. I got بميضاء. There's alif after the dot, right? Then, so they travel ثم دعا بميضاءة. Nabi Sallallahu, for the time being, just like miضاء means here like a utensil that used to keep water in. He called for the utensil of water, right? Carry on. Yeah, so who's the Rawi? Abu Qatada, ne? So you see it was me, right? So as Abu Qatada is saying, كانت معي, right, فيها شيء من ماء, there was some water. Right. So look at the literal translation here. فتوضأ منها وضوءا دون وضوء. Duna normally refer to something lesser. So literally, it would translate like this: he made a wudu lesser than a normal wudu. So in other words, he washed his hands, he washed his face, whatever, but not the normal wudu, not the normal wudu. So okay, yeah, okay, you don't have to say lesser, but you can say like this. It means he made. Remember, literally, wudu means to wash, right? And technically, we speak about a specific wudu of washing the face, washing the arms, washing the feet, having intention. So that's what I'm saying. So you can say like this: he washed himself, but not the technical shari wudu. In other words, like how when you wake up, you just rinse your mouth, maybe you just splash on your face or something. So that's what I mean. He just freshened up, so to say. So he washed himself, but not the normal wudu that is required for salah. Are you with me? So that's how you can translate it. Yeah, that's a nice way to translate it. فَتَوَضَّأَ مِنْهَا وُضُوءًا دُونَ وُضُوءٍ. So he washed himself from it, not the normal wudu of salah. Just like when you wake up, right, you wipe fresh up, right? Carry on. قال وبقي فيها شيء من ماء. So this, follow now nicely, this utensil that was brought here by what you call it, by Qatada, uh, he used this one and he left a little water in there, right? He never finished the water completely. Follow nicely. Remember we discussed, you saying that when you don't finish something, you don't take the last bit out. Because the barakah is always in the last bit, right? Carry on. No, you never make a farad wudu. In fact, if you read further, you'll see further on he's going to speak about a shara'i or istilahi wudu. This was just like I said, freshen up, right? See if وَبَقِيَ فِيهَا شَيْءٌ مِّن مَّاءٍ, right?
ثم قال احفظ علينا بيضاعتك
Right, مِيضَاعَتك. Now he said, okay, look nicely after this utensil, right?
فيكون لها نبوء.
So something is going to happen to this. Naba means information. أما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون. You know Surah Naba, right? Information. Hamza on top. So it's ميضاعة. ميضاعتك يحفظ علينا ميضاعتك because it's a مفعول. It's a مفعول. Yeah, ميضاعتك. Right. Carry on. So he's saying, watch this thing nicely. Something's going to happen here now, right? فيكون لا نبأ, right? It's right.
ثم أذن بلال بالصلاة صلى رسول الله
Right. ثم أذن بلال بالصلاة. Then بلال رضي الله تعالى عنه قال الصلاة فصلى رسول الله ركعتين. رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم performed 2 rakats namaz. You may ask a question here. Did you here you asked me, was it a faraz wudu? And here the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam read 2 rakats. Remember, Nabi Sallallahu wudu never a break. He wasn't invalidated with salah because his spiritual heart was still alive. We'll discuss this. It will come somewhere in the subject, somewhere on the line. So, right, he's carry on. Or just came to my mind now, maybe, like you say, maybe it is a wudu, but not the full wudu. You know what I'm saying? We can say he made like, the faras of wudu, but not all the sunan and mustahabbat. Maybe it could mean that also. But even if we take it just to freshen up, then it still is fine because I told you Nabi Sallallahu wudu, one of the khasa'is, the specialities of Rasulullah was that his wudu would not be nullified with sleeping, right? But okay, if we take this to mean he made a shar'i wudu, but then we say not the full wudu, right? So you'll say it will be like this, mean like this, فَتَوَضَّأَ مِنْهَا وُضُوءًا مُخْتَصَرًا لا وضوء تمام, right? Not a complete wudu. Carry on.
وانتهينا إلى
So see, فصلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ركعتين. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 2 ركعات. ثم صلى الغداة. Then he read the Fajr namaz, right? Then he left وركبنا, we traveled with him.
فانتهينا إلى الناس حين امتد النهر.
Right. فانتهينا, then we reached, because remember to discuss, each was traveling on their own, right? فانتهينا إلى الناس حتى حين امتد النهار. So we reached, we caught up with the rest of the party, right? حين امتد النهار, when the literally translated is when the day spread out. In other words, later in the day, and later deeper into the day, right?
وحمي شيء.
Right. Hamia, hot, Wahamia, and there was already everything was becoming hot that time because now as the desert, hot summer, as the day progress, everything is coming hot, right? Wahamia pollution, right?
وهم يقولون يا رسول الله ألسنا
Yeah. So remember, they didn't remember those days. They weren't like how you got now Shell Ultra, those garages, etc. You had to depend on your natural sources of water. That's why you would plan your journey. If you stop at this oasis, you stop at that oasis, you stop at that water point, you stop at that water point. So here they didn't reach water. Although there be some sense. Look at the beginning. He said, وَتَأْتُونَ الْمَاءَ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهِ. You will come to some water, inshallah, right? So, so people are saying, Ya Rasulullah, we supposed to come to water, and we never come to water. Halakna, we are destroyed. Wa afishna, we are thirsty. So what Nabi Sallam responded? He said,
قال لا هلك عليك.
La hulka, no destruction upon you, inshallah. Don't worry, don't stress. La hulka, no destruction for you, right? Right? Wada'a bil miyuda'ati. So he called for that utensil.
جعل يصب
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You see here, my kitab, see there. You got miyuda'a. He separate day. And in here, I hear what you're saying now. And in here, you see how it's by your kitab. Mi da'ati. What you got in your kitab? Mi da'ati. Yes, mi da'ati. Yes, me. You got what? Mi da'ati. Just change the page, please. Okay, so you got meal da'ati and you also got meal da'ati. You must just do me a favor, you must check in this big dictionary, inshallah. But I think we'll go with that. We'll go with your what, inshallah. Because there seems to be a mistake here. Be meal da'ati. So people are saying, yeah, Rasul, now we are destroyed. We got no water. We're supposed to come to a oasis. And here is no oasis. And now things are getting hot. The weather's getting hot, etc. So wada'a bil mid'ati. So this one conforms with you, right? So Nabi Sam said, remember that utensil there I had by Qatada? Just bring that one, please, for me, right? Right. فَجَعَلَ يَصُبُّ. So he began pouring from it. وَأَبُو قَتَادَةَ يَسْقِيهِمْ. And Abu Qatada was giving Saqayaski, giving to the people. The Nabi was pouring and he was giving it, right? Carry on.
فلم يعد أي أن رأى الناس ماء في الميضة فكان
Yeah. So let me explain to you first what I'm saying here. Then we try to fit it in the Ibarat. It's a bit, like I told you, pechidgi, a bit of a complex. Now, what happened here, see here? They were traveling all night, right? And they didn't come to a water point. And it was getting hot. It was getting very, very hot. And there was no water. And all of a sudden, here they saw this little water. So what happened? What would happen? They would rush for the water. They would rush. So here the Sahaba Ikram started rushing because they didn't know now there's going to be enough water, right? So that's what it's been. So that فَلَمْ يَعُدْ أَنْ رَأَى النَّاسُ مَاءً فِي الْمِيضَةِ تَكَابُوا عَلَيْهَا. That whole ibarah there means, same thing I told you, they all rushed forward in a disorderly manner. What it means? They rush forward. I'm giving you the understood translation. They all rush forward in a disorderly manner. Let's try to put it. فَلَمْ يَعُدْ. It did not, you can say, Ada Ya'udu means to repeat, right? So it did not uh, occur except that the people saw the water under An-Nasu fil mida'ati in the utensil and takabu alayha, they rushed forward to it. Right? Carry on.
فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أحسن الملأ
Yeah. So Nabi Sallallahu said, look, ahsinu, ahsana yusim means to make good. Make good al-mala'aya means make good the character. Like don't act in a disorderly manner, inshallah. Everybody will get. There's enough water for everybody, right?
وكلكم فيروى
Yeah. All of you. Kullukum rawa yarwi. Rawiya yarwa means to be satiated, ne? To get enough to drink, etc. So he said, don't worry. Even though it's a small utensil, kullukum sayurwa. Every single one of you will get enough, right?
قال ففعلوا
Right. Fafa'alu. Then they done this. The Nabi said, come in order. Don't rush. Don't be disorderly. They done it. Exactly as the Nabi instructed, right?
جعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصب
Right. So Nabi Sam was pouring. فجعل رسول الله يصب. Nabi was pouring it. وأسقيم, and I was handing it out to them, right? Carry on.
حتى ما بقي غيري وغيره
Subhanallah. So from this one small utensil, we were giving so many people to drink until everybody got enough. حتى ما بقي غيري وغيره. So this is the file, eh? Until did not remain, did not get. In other words, nobody remained that of not getting except myself and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right, Karim?
أم، ثم ثم صب
Then Nabi Sam poured for me also,
قال لي اشرب
and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ishrab kam Qatada, Abu Qatada, you drink now, drink."
فقلت لا أشرب حتى تشرب
Yeah.
غيري
So I said, "Faqultu la ashrab." Like when you got the guest, sometimes you honor the guest, you take first, the guest, you take, like that. Or like you come to the door, you tell Ustad, you go first. You say, no, you go, no problem, right? فقال لي اشرب. So Rasulullah said, drink. فقلت لا أشرب حتى تشرب. Ya Rasulullah, I won't drink until you drink, right?
ولكن ساقي القوم
So Nabi Sam said, Inna saqil. You got saqiya there in your kitab, yeah, because this is Yaman Qusan, it comes back in the Halat Nasab. Inna saqiya al-qawm, the person who gives the others to drink, right? Akhirum, he's the last one. So you are in khidmat, like how you go Jamaat. You ever went in Jamaat? You went, you went in Jamaat anytime. Your wife allows you to go Jamaat sometimes. His wife will never allow him. You don't allow him to come to Madrasa, or she will allow you to go Jamaat. So what you in Khidmat Jamaat, you feed everybody properly, nicely. After you feed everybody, now you will sit and eat. You know, but Ishtima, you see, after the guys, they feed everyone nicely. Now you see them sitting one corner. Now they're happy. Everybody's eating. Now they sit one corner. Same thing. See, that is part of the sunnah. Inna saqi al-qawm akhiruhum. The one who gives drink water to drink to the people, he will drink last. Like even by the house, even the mothers, the wives, Allah Ta'ala reward them. They see that everybody eats nicely, and then when everybody's got enough, now they sit and they eat. They're not happy until everybody else isn't happy. They're not happy, their heart is not satisfied. They can't eat properly until everybody never eat properly. Allah reward them. Right. So, inna saqi al-qawm akhiruhum. Qala, the person who gives water is the last one. Qala, فشربت. So Abu Qatada says, I drank. Then وشرب, after I drank, Rasulullah drank. Right, قال فأتى الناس الماء جامين رواء. So the people came to the water جامين, uh, happy. And riwa'a also, this is from the word actually rawiya yarwa, means satiated, right? But we'll do a bit more tahqiq of this here just now. So rawahu Muslimun, Imam Muslim narrates this with riwayat hakadha fi sahihi. So this words here come exactly as it is in Sahih Muslim, which you people will be doing soon, inshallah. Inshallah. وكذا في كتاب الحميدي, and in the kitab of Humaydi also, what he done is he took yeah he took the books of yeah, what Imam Humaydi, what he done is he took Bukhari and Muslim and he put it together. So in his book also, this riwayat is there also of Imam Muslims, right? Then what Jami al Usul, I told you before, Jami al Usul is the author, what he done, Ibn al Athir. What he done is he took all say sita, Bukhari, Muslim, right? And he put it together and he took out the repetitions. So when you study this book, you're basically studying 6 books in one time. You understand what I'm saying? So inshallah, if you when you finish your studies, if you stay a few days with you, I done this, alhamdulillah, Aadiel. I studied this is comes what you call is takhassus fil hadith. What you call it? Where you specialize in hadith, you learn about all the different type of hadith books. What is a jami? What is a mukhtasar? What is zawaid? All that. Alhamdulillah, we done all that stuff. So if you are interested in doing that, we can teach you that. So I told you, like, even if you look at Mishkaat, is also this. What is Mishkaat Shareef? Mishkaat Shareef is over 14 books. Mishkaat Shareef is, that's why Mishkaat is chosen to be taught in the Darul Uloom, because you're studying 40. You can see there. Look at all the references. You are doing 14 books in one time. And I told you before, for hundreds of years in India, Pakistan, your final hadith book was the Mishkaat, because it's such a comprehensive book. Only when Shah Hadith Delhi went to the Arab lands about 120 years ago, 150 years ago, and he learned the Say Sita, then he came back and he introduced the Say Sita. Actually, your Dora Hadith, the 5th year, it is actually a Hadith specialist course. It's actually Takhasus fil Hadith. So for hundreds of years in India, Pakistan, once you finish Mishkat, you are already, wasn't tell us where rather you you run away, right? So for hundreds of years, you should finish Mishkat, you are Molly Sap already. So, so I was telling you, the Jamil Usul, what he done is he took 6 books and he took the repetitions out. So when you study this one book, you're doing 6 books one time, right? So this is of Ibn Athir, right? So Wakadafi, so that's exactly why here. It's nice to understand exactly, the referencing, what they're saying there. They're saying this riwayat as it appears here in Mishkat Sharif, it appears exactly like this also in Jami ul Usul of Ibn Athir. I remember when I was in Azadbal, there was an orange copy. It was about so big. Orange Ibn Athir books, Jami ul Usul, I remember exactly. Right? Well, Jami ul Usul, but right. وزاد في المصابيح, but remember the original kitab of Mishkat Sharif was Masabih, right? So, but in Masabih, he got something extra, which is not in Muslim Sharif, right? You understood? وزاد في المصابيح بعد قوله آخرهم. See nicely, look nicely, he's saying, this is like a nice question for exam. See here, you got it. Inna saqi al-qawmi akhiruhum. right? In Masabih, this is the original kitab of Mishkaat, which was Khatib Tabrizi. He got the extra word. He got Lafza Shurbatan, that the last person of the people, Shurbatan, to drink is the Saki. You understood that? So this part of the riwayat is not in Muslim Sharif. It's not even in the Muslim Sharif riwayat that is in Jami al-Usul. And it's not even in the Muslim Sharif riwayat that is in Imam Humaydi's kitab. It's only in Masabi's kitab. And Sahib Masabi claims this is in Muslim Sharif. So this shows you here that maybe Sahib Masabi had another copy of Muslim Sharif or some other riwayat he had that we don't know about it. Because I remember I told you, there's not only one riwayat of the Kitab. Bukhari Sharif, there's few different riwayats, different students. Like I'm teaching you something now, you go write it down, you write it down. You might write it different to him and you might write it. So the same lesson I'm teaching, when you kalam band, you wrote it down, and you taught it to your student, and you taught it to your student. At the end of the day, there might be some difference in there. Maybe on different occasions I taught it differently. So same thing like that. Sometimes you see the different copies of Bukhari Sharif. That's why when you go deep into this thing, when you study your Bukhari Sharif, you see which student of Imam Bukhari is this, right? Which student of Imam Muslims is this? Although we more or less do more or less the same kitab in the kitab, we in our Darulums, but actually this is when you go deep in and you see which deep into the discussion. Anyway, so this hadith is quite self-explanatory. Most of the stuff there is quite clear. Just one, two words that the miracle is that how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, out of one utensil, he gave so many people to drink or to fulfill their evolution needs. That's the miracle. That's the relevance of the hadith. Just one, two words. Ibhar al-laylu. Yes, it says Ibhara means when the uh, refer to nisful layl, even tasaf al layl. So they travel till the right till the middle of the night. I told you generally Nabi Sallallahu would discourage traveling at night time because he said creatures of Allah Ta'ala comes out at that time, etc. It's not out in the daytime. So from the adab and etiquette of travel need is different, right? Mida'atun, yeah, even yeah, there's also got mida'a like out in your kitab, which also is like refer to a utensil that is used to accommodate water. فَلَمْ يَعُدْ. So I told you, I gave you the explanation of that part there of the hadith. فَلَمْ يَعُدْ. People did not. So فَلَمْ يَعُدْ. People did not return. So what it means here actually, they never go to another place. They, when they saw the water, they all thronged. So that Ada Ya'ud also here refer to the people never go anywhere else. They all came towards Rasulullah Sallallahu for that water. You understood that? So that فَلَمْ يَعُدْ. Takabu, to rush, to throng towards the water, right? Then ahsinu al mala'a. You got mala'a then, eh? Make good your akhlaq. Be in an orderly fashion. So then atan nasu. In the last part of the hadith, which says there, um, uh, where is it here? The last part. Uh, سيروى قال فعلوا فجعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصب وأسلم حتى بقي غيره. Yeah. فأتى الناس الماء جامين. The last part. فأتى الناس الماء جامين. What it means? People came to the miraculous water. People came to the miraculous water. Jamina. Jamina, yeah, with a great deal of happiness, right? And riwa'an, this is a hal, right? Riwa'an means satiated, satiated. Okay, time is almost up, but let's just do another one hadith. This next hadith, not much explanation. We never do much. Let's just do one more, inshallah. Right. Narrating authority of Abu Huraira, I said when it was the Battle of Tabuk. Tabuk was a long journey where they're supposed to meet there. When Nabi was one of the longest journeys Rasulullah took in his life. He traveled up south towards Jordan to meet the Romans to the Levant, right? Asab al Nasa Maja'atun, hunger overtook the people, right? So, right. فقال عمر, as Umar said, Ya Rasulullah, ud'uhum bifadli azwadihim. All the people, they must bring whatever they got. If people are eating individually, whatever little pot cost everyone got, this one got a little water, this one got a piece of date, this one got a piece of bread, bring it here, inshallah, right? بفضل أزواد, call them with the extra azwad. The Quran, وخير الزاد تقوى زاد, your out food, your provision, right? Correct. Right. ثم الله, then so then make dua to Allah Ta'ala, that Allah put barakah, bless in this, right? Carry on. فدعا, I got in what you got, in your kitab. Binit'in, right? So Nabi Sam calls for, we call it also in Arabic, we call it sufra. Sufra refer to like a leather dastarkhan. Urdu is dastarkhan, eh? You say Urdu. But the proper word in Arabic is sufra or nit, right? Carry on. So then Nabi Summa da'a bi fadli azwadi, we called for the, the extra, whatever left over they got from the, what we say, pat cost, road food, right? Provisions. Bikafi dhurratin. Right. So one person, Fajr Rajul Yajib Bikafi, one person will come with a handful of dhurra, some corn, millet, wheat, right? And ويجي الآخر بكف تمرة, another person will come with a handful of dates. ويجي الآخر, another person will come, kasra means piece of bread. So they're putting all together, right? Right. حتى اجتمع على نطعه شيء, until they gathered upon the dastarkhan شيء يسير, a little food. فدعا رسول الله, Nabi Sallallahu made dua for barakah. Right. Then he said, خذوا في أويتكم فأخذوا في أويتهم. Now each one fell up into your utensils. Take from here, right? Food. إلى ملأوها. So فأخذوا في أويتهم. People began falling into their bags, right? They began falling into their bags. فأخذوا في أويتهم حتى ما تركوا في العسكري, until they did not leave in the army. We are on one bag. إلا ملأوه. You got ملأوه is right. So in other words, there was so much barakah in that after Nabi Sallallahu made dua, that they were able to fill their bags full up from that. إلا ملأوه قال فأكلوا. Then they were able to eat حتى شبعوا, and they were able to eat enough until they were full. وفضلت فضلة, and over and above there some also remained. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and Nabi says, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. So witnessing the miracle himself, Nabi was impressed. I bear witness that there is no God, وأني رسول الله, and that I am the messenger of Allah. Then he said, لا يلقى الله بهما عبد. No person meets Allah Ta'ala. I was happy when I saw this hadith here, this part of the hadith, right? لا يلقى الله بهما عبد غير شاك فيحجب عن الجنة. Nobody will meet Allah Ta'ala with this belief, except, and he has, without any doubt in his heart, then he will be deprived of Jannat. In other words, when you got this belief, you definitely you will be given Jannat. So why I was happy when I saw this here? Why? Because remember I told you what the people say, no, so long as you believe in God, you are a Buddhist, you are a Christian, you are a Scientologist, you are a good person, you go to Jannat. Are you trying to tell us Mandela is not going to Jannat, Desmond Tutu is not going to Jannat? Yeah, it's clear. What? You must ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anni rasulullah. You have to believe that Nabi Sallallahu was the final prophet. You have to accept the message of Rasulullah to be to enter Jannah. This is munji. What is to have belief? They see there, La yalqa Allah bihi ma'dun. No servant meets Allah Ta'ala with this belief that Allah is one and that Rasul is a messenger, غير شاكٍ, without having any doubt, then what will happen? He will not meet Allah Ta'ala, then فَيُحْجَبُ عَنِ الْجَنَّةِ, he will be hijab, a hijab will become between him and Jannah. He will deprive of Jannah, right? That means he will definitely go to Jannah. Rawah Muslim, Imam Muslim narrates this particularly, right? Right. So the miracle here is quite obvious. And from this hadith, we learn also something. There's another hadith that also speaks, he says that Nabi Sallallahu said that the food of two people is for three. The food of three people is for two. If you take divide, this is yours and this is mine, right? And you make it separate, it will be sufficient for the people. But when you put the two people's food together, there'll be so much barakah, you can call a third person. And when you put three people's food together, then it's always so much barakah. You four people will be eat. Now, if you go back in the day, previous days, if you speak to your father, your grandfather, how people used to live together, how they used to eat together, and then they had so many children, and they earn so little money. Then you wonder how they came out. Today, families are smaller. Today, families, they got designer families. What? Pigeon pay. I got my pigeon pay. I'm happy, alhamdulillah. I got a boy and a girl. Pigeon, they two eggs, isn't it? And one is a male and one is a female. Yeah, I got a pigeon pay. Alhamdulillah, you sorted out. You got your pigeon pay. You got male and female. Designer family. Smelly's families are getting smaller. So families are getting smaller. Income is getting bigger, but the resources are lesser. But previous time families are bigger. People were earning lesser, but more people were eating. More people were happy. Why? Because people lived together. They ate together. There was barakah. There was love. There was mahabbat, etc. Right? So, مطعن a leather dastarkhan, right? Bikafi dhurratin was ne? I told you like some corn, millet, kasratin, a piece of bread, etc. So okay, we'll stop there. We're going to do the Hidayah Sharif now, inshallah. We can carry on, inshallah. We're switching over to Hidayah Sharif.